Hey, what's up? I wanted to make this video about health, general health. The subject came up recently because I have a friend, and he was, unbeknownst to me, is experiencing some health problems, and I have certainly experienced my health problems in the past. And I am not one to give advice most of the time. I like to unless somebody asks specifically, but I have refined my approach on giving advice. I did last night, and so I just thought I would share it. So, general health advice. I mean, the first thing that I would always recommend to anybody is to eat a whole food, plant-based diet. And I say it like that, so like plant-based meaning because like not everybody's vegan or vegetarian, and that's a journey unto itself, and it's a lot more than a diet. So, and not everybody's ready to go there, but those things, like if you get sick, they're never like, oh, you need to eat more red meat, or like, you need to eat it's always the plants and the herbs and the fruits and the vegetables and the green things and that kind of stuff. So a whole food, plant-based diet, and then whatever else you eat, but focus on that kind of stuff. Another element of it too is I say eat whole, fresh, raw, ripe, as many whole, fresh, raw, ripe, organic fruits and vegetables that are in season, local, and dirt grown. It is important, as far as I understand, to eat organic because of the pesticides and the herbicides and the fungicides and the chemical fertilizers that they use when they grow big crops. And if they're growing these big crops and stuff like that, they're not they're using like manure, cow, pig, or chicken manure, and that stuff. Like an animal eats vegetation, and then it poops out something. It strips. It's the body of that organism strips all of the nutrients from that food. It takes all the vitamins and minerals and protein, and it poops out some stuff that is waste. And it is true that plants can use that stuff to grow big, but it doesn't put but then it's like they become nutrient deficient, as opposed to, say, composting, where you actually throw away the part of the plant which has the most nutrient density, which is often the rind, the core, say like the top of a pineapple, these parts that we typically don't eat because they don't taste very good. And then that goes back into the ground, like in permaculture or in organic gardening, and so you end up with a far better product. And also, because it's not just about you have to keep in mind that with organic gardening, it's like, say, no-till gardening, not completely disrupting the ground, because really there's a circle of life going on, and there is microorganisms, there are insects, there are worms, there are bacteria, there is mycelium, mushrooms, where the mushrooms come from, and things living in the soil. I mean, and it's a part of it. It's not just dirt, right? There's more to it, and it's an ecosystem, and they all work together to produce healthy plants. It's a biodiversity thing. And so it's important also, because if you're not eating organic food, then you're supporting commercial produce, where they do use those pesticides, those poisons, which then you eat, but it also poisons the environment and gets into the water table, and goes into the ocean. There's a big problem right now with the sargassum sea. Like sargassum, I think it's one of the biggest biological entities on Earth, and it lives in the ocean. But because of chemical fertilizers and things like that end up in the ocean, and global warming too. This thing has just grown out of control, and now it's like washing up on shores in certain places of the world, and just like by the ton. And not everybody has the ability to deal with this stuff, and it smells like rotten eggs when it is breaking down, so it's pretty gross. And yeah, it's a real problem, and it would make great fertilizer, but they don't, there's no way to remove the salt efficiently, and so you're kind of stuck with this stuff. So yeah, it is a big problem. And like, I know that there's a lot of people who are weary about organic food, say it's not worth the price, and how can you trust the companies that are doing it? And my answer is just that, like, to go through the certification process that is required to have the organic label, something to be labeled as certified organic, is huge. And if you were, say, to get caught promoting that, and your food was in fact contaminated, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's just about making a solid effort. It is possible that you're still going to be consuming certain things that have chemicals, and maybe some stuff might slip by, but it's like, when you're getting exposed to toxins and stuff like that from so many sources, it's in just the air that we breathe from all the cars that are driving around in the cities, the industry. It off gases off of new paints and plastics, and like, we're getting it. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the soil. If you drink like bottled water or something like that, and then you got like the BPA in there, then if they're putting fluoride in there too. So it's like, to the greatest amount that you can essentially offset the impact that toxic, harmful, like cancer causing chemicals are having on your body, it's good. And so hence the organic fruits and vegetables, local, dirt grown, so they're not traveling from far away. They're picked when they're mature, not when they're immature. It's important. So all of those things, that's certainly a part of it. The raw food too, because like the B vitamins, if you eat, say, beef, the cows eat the grass has B vitamins. It's a bacteria that just grows naturally on plants. So if you're eating raw food, then you're getting B vitamins. If you're cooking everything and washing everything, or buying it from like it all depends on where you get it from. If you're getting it from Costco, I would wash everything. If you're getting it, there's a lot of stores that you just don't know, so it's best to err on the side of caution. But if you're getting it from a local farmer's market and stuff like that, I try to not wash it as much as possible, especially because I eat a predominantly organic diet. So it's like, I want to make sure that it's in its most natural state, so that I'm getting the benefit of that natural stuff. And so another thing too that is a big thing is exercise. Like, if you're having problems with your spine, with your neck, with your back, with your joints and stuff like that, yoga. But yoga for me is not enough. Calisthenics as well. Like, you need to work your body, like really work large muscle groups, like doing pull-ups and doing dips and doing push-ups and doing handstand push-ups, and like really, it's not like you have to do it a lot, but you do have to do it. This body does not, I don't think that the idea was for it to be a sedentary thing, like sitting around on the couch just eating garbage, garburator here. Not the best. So movement, and certainly cardio too plays a huge difference, just in your not mentality, but you get a runner's high from it. And also meditation. All of those things play a role in health. What else? Another big thing for me is to do with intermittent fasting. I mean, I've done different varieties of this. Extreme is fasting for 23 hours a day because your body is either digesting or it is rejuvenating. And so the longer that you can give your body to go through, like where it has a break from just being constantly having food shoved into it that it has no choice but to process, the longer that you can give it every single day, then the quicker you can heal. And it's like with, I don't know about with women, but with men, like human growth hormone, what repairs your body, goes way up when you're fasting, and so does testosterone, so you have more energy. And then when insulin is down, glucagon goes up. So if you're dealing with weight loss, or if you want to lose weight, glucagon is the fat burning hormone. So it's important to not, because every time you eat calories, it takes like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours for your insulin levels to come back down to drop to normal. So it's like, it's kind of if you ever reach a point where you can say the words, okay, I'm clearly doing something wrong, my body's giving me that kind of feedback, I'm not going to die anytime soon, and I can't keep living like this. That's what you need to reach that point where you're just like, okay, you're ready to make, it's like a thing with healing. If you're a healer, the first thing that you ever ask somebody, if you're going to enter into a relationship with them regarding helping them along the lines of health and healing, is, do you have something to live for? Because if you don't, some people are in a negative state, and if you don't have that, then you're not going to, you have to have something to, I don't know if the word is fight, but you got to have something, be like, yeah, no, this is important. I have kids. I have a responsibility. I have a life purpose to fulfill. Like, that's me. I don't have kids, but I have something in me that's like, no, I got a job to do here. I didn't come here just to, sit all day lollygagging in the sun. I'm gonna be something, right? And then the other one too is, are you willing to give up what made you sick in the first place? And and certainly not have a victim mentality about it, because we kind of do this stuff to ourselves. I mean, sure, we develop poor eating habits and health habits from a very early age and stuff like that. So there's, but that's basically it. I mean, and certainly getting sunshine helps. Sun on the skin, as I shouldn't say that, because some people have really light skin and they burn really easy, but vitamin D is a thing. Deep breathing is good too, like having a healthy breathing exercise. Conscious breathing, not like, conscious breathing, being aware of it, and not too shallow all the time, but also not too, somewhere in the middle. And what else is important? Being, there's something that like Buddha talks about is the importance of having a sangha. So it's like, the people that you're around, it can have a real impact on you. If you're around people who live an unhealthy lifestyle, it can be very easy to fall into that, especially if you're not in the happiest place, or if you have something like how addiction works. Like a lot of people, they have a hole that they try to either fill it, which it will never get filled, or they try to cover it up, but you can't. So it's just like, a lot of us have reasons to eat those bags of chips and to eat that junk food, that stuff that's like poisoned honey. It's like satisfying for a minute, and then you get to feel like garbage, and it does nothing for your body. Your body's suffering. Drinking enough water. That's a very personal one. I know that for myself, when I eat mostly fruit, I drink almost zero water. But then when I don't have as much fruit, when I was out in the desert in Mexico, I would drink tons of water. I would drink a liter of water, and then later I would drink another liter of water, and then I drink another liter of water, and then sometimes I drink another liter of water and another liter of water, because that was what my body was asking for. And so that's an important thing, to listen to your body, because it tells you. My body tells me everything. I can tell the second when I think about eating something or go to eat something, I can feel my body saying no. I get like a gut feeling, or say if I'm gonna, if I wanna, if I go to break my fast early, like to eat something too early and the body's not ready, it lets me know. It gives me like a little jolt of pain. It's funny how intelligent the body is. So yeah, I mean, but that's about it. The whole foods, so nothing refined. Just make sure that everything is whole, fresh, ripe, yeah, raw, organic, in season, local, dirt grown. Yeah. And certainly don't stress about it all either. Like, I think when you kind of understand some of this stuff and then you make a really good effort, don't worry about it, because stress in and of itself is a silent killer. It's terrible for your body being under stress, worrying about all this kind of stuff. I know that for myself as a vegan, it's important to eat sufficient protein to augment the amount of exercise that I like to involve myself in. And then it's also important to take breaks. Like, I can sometimes work myself too hard, and it's like, what they say, he who rushes ahead doesn't go far, or he or she who stands on tippy toes doesn't stand firm. Those are Lao Tzu quotes. And it's just like, if you work yourself to the point of exhaustion, then you burn out, you're not going to be more productive. You didn't gain anything. It's going to take more time to go through that recovery than you actually think that you got ahead by pushing yourself. It's kind of like why my, not mantra, but my New Year's resolution this year was to never push myself to the point of exhaustion in anything that I do, and to have fun with everything that I do, and to enjoy it. If you get to the point where you're not enjoying yourself, stop and go do something else, especially if it's something that you would normally enjoy, but you're just like forcing yourself to go to the gym or do yoga or whatever. And it's like, it's important to take breaks and to be gentle on yourself is another big one. It's just, I've not always been the nicest to myself, and especially like you look in the mirror and it's like, oh, I look like garbage. And it's like, you know what? I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm going through emotions, and that's enough. So being nice to yourself. And another one too is beware. There's this thing, it's like, beware the company you keep. It can be challenging to be around people who are negatively oriented, people who are ego-based, egocentric, because they have a tendency to make everything about them. They take things personally, and they're argumentative, and just like, it's for myself, I do everything that I can to stay away from situations and people who consistently demonstrate a lack of compassion and mindfulness and heart, in a word. So like, there's this thing, it's like, I'd rather be alone than like be around people who I get sucked into like purely intellectual conversations, or like that gets like my ego going. It's so much better to be around people who are heart-based. And I know that's a challenge because friends and family and work situations and whatnot, but it's just about, I suppose, being consciously aware of it all and making an effort to, find your way. So, yeah. A big part for me too is spending time alone, because I am a predominantly introverted person. I've studied extroverted people, and so I know how to shift into that kind of mode, but like it's important to spend time alone, and in nature as well is huge. It's just like, and spending time being quiet is huge. Not talking, not listening to music, not always busy, and that's where that meditation comes, slowing things down, stopping the thought train, and not entertaining myself in any way. Like I'll sometimes just go somewhere and like stare into the infinite, like into the space in between spaces, and it just helps to, like as a sort of an open eye meditation, to just be present and aware and in a space there but not there. I find it really, really helpful. Yeah, just all these little practices and stuff like that, but they add up and they contribute to overall health. So yeah, I hope that helps. That's cool.